This is Singles Exchange. Let's talk, let's hang. This is Singles Exchange. Singles Exchange.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Joy J. And before we get started with today's episode, I just wanted to remind you that we have a murder mystery dinner coming up on October 9th, and you can go to our website to get more details on that. But I wanted to introduce you to one of our sponsors for that event. So let me tell you guys about Indigo Siege handcrafted sauces. Are you ready to take your favorite dishes and taste buds to the next level? Produced in small, made to order batches, ensuring the freshest taste. Indigo Siege handcrafted sauces are one of a kind, and they'll keep you coming back for more. They currently have 3 sauces in their collection. Their number 1 bestseller, which I'll show you here, is their famous wing sauce. It's the sweet fire sauce. They have an original St. Louis original barbecue sauce. That's the pork sauce. And let me tell y'all, they stay sold out. So I haven't gotten that one yet, but I'm going to get it soon. And then lastly, their creamy, spicy, and zesty seafood sauce, which you can see here. So do me a favor, treat yourself or your favorite cook to any of these sauces, and you can order them at www.icsauces.com. That's www. The letter I, the letter C is in Charlie, sauces.com, and be a part of their community. You can also follow them on Instagram at Indigo Siege. So that's Indigo, INDIGO, Siege, CIEGE, and that's all one word. So be sure to go and check them out. Now, listen, I read my script, but I'm gonna just give y'all the tea. It's one of my favorite wing sauces. I'm from Chicago. I'm a mild sauce girl, and this is probably the closest thing I will ever get. It's my favorite sauce. I've known Siege for years, and I have been eating this sauce up. Every time he makes it, I make sure to order it. So listen, grab your sauces now while they're in stock, and we will see you soon. All right, welcome back to Singles Exchange, a podcast that focuses on conversations, connections, and community. As always, I am your host, Joy J, and I have a super exciting topic today. I feel like I always say that, but it's always true, so y'all will be fine. Um, if you are a frequent exchanger, then you know the drill. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Singles Exchange on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and whatever your podcast streaming platform is. I have a topic that is near and dear to my heart today because I think it describes me perfectly, and I think it describes my guest perfectly as well. So I am going to let her introduce herself, and then I'll tell you guys what we're talking about.
Hi, strangers. My name is Avi, but my real name is Avi, but my friends call me Avi. I am 31 years old from Chicago. Went to SIUE. That's how I met Joy.
Yeah.
In gospel choir. Well, ex gospel choir because she was out by the time I had got in. But
Okay.
anywho, Kim Major. I currently work in finance, and I'm a hotel manager. Team 2 jobs. Don't recommend it, but team 2 jobs.
Hashtag
Um,
grown-ups be like,
for real. Currently, I am single. Um, we're not gonna. I'm gonna say we still looking. So if you out there, babe, you see this? She
listen,
right.
because she cute today. She real cute. And she rocking
Right.
her Singles Exchange merch.
And
Period.
just it. But yeah, I'm that friend little disclaimer that doesn't have a filter. So exchange this might be PG-13 just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All facts. Ivy is the friend that you can't even pick up and say you on speakerphone. You just can't put her on speakerphone until she knows it because she will fully start the conversation real bad. And you be embarrassed at Walmart because you done put her on speakerphone. That is Ivy. So Ivy, thanks
It's
for
never a dull moment.
never, literally never. So
It's never
Ivy,
a dull
thank you
moment.
for kicking it with me. Today, we are going to talk about dating a daddy's girl. And Ivy and I are both daddy's girls, but from opposite ends of the spectrum. Ivy is an only child, and I am the only girl and also the youngest. Um, but I want to talk about it. So Ivy and I are going to talk about it today. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll have another podcast where I talk with a mama's boy about that as well. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So we're gonna hope y'all stay tuned. The whole month of September, we talking about daddy's girls versus mama's boys. Um, so Ivy, like I said, you're an only child. So tell me from your definition, what is a daddy's girl?
Uh, okay, from my perspective and my life and experiences, I think it's somebody I can fully depend on, and then it's like I know that I can trust them and I could fully like I'm good, I'm secure, I can call whenever, like
Yeah,
literally whenever. At
literally.
2, 3 in the
Yeah.
morning. Hey dad, I need
Because the
this, that, and
daddy
the
is
third.
gonna answer. And gonna
I,
answer with some answer. Like he gonna answer like, what do you need?
exactly. But honestly, the word dependable is really what comes with that in my experience. Granted, people say, "Oh my God, she did a girl. She needs to be kept." That ain't really the finance. The financial part is there, but honestly, me able to depend on you is what honestly I feel like a dad's girl is.
Yeah.
That's just my experience.
Definitely look for, and that's what I think with being a daddy's girl. um I know a lot of people say that daddy's girls are spoiled. We are not. We're gonna get into stigmas about stereotypes of daddy's girls in a little bit, but I think that a daddy's girl is someone who is close to her dad. Like, people make it overly complicated, but I'm close to my dad. I literally call my dad for anything. My dad is my favorite comedian. He irks bad. He get on my nerves real bad, but he's my dad. He's my parent.
Real. Like for real. Like granted, like me and my dad, we don't talk every day. But when we do, is if it's like two teenagers talking on like the phone for like an hour or so, and then we get off the phone.
Because daddies cuts up bad with their daughters.
Because
Okay.
after about 20 minutes of dad jokes, I'm like, okay, Dad, right. I called you for a reason.
Exactly. So since
I'm gonna
I
need you to
called
go
you,
ahead.
go ahead and answer my question so I can go on about my business.
Mm-mm.
So yeah. So my next question is, because you're a daddy's girl, how does being a daddy's girl play a part in your dating standards and your expectations, when it comes to like what you expect from guys or what your standards are?
Ooh.
I know.
If you are my friend, like close friend, you already know the reason why.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You already know the reason why. So just a little backstory for y'all. So we come from if different opposites of the spectrum as far as daddy girls go. My dad goes above and beyond financially in every single way there is.
Literally.
For example, I crashed my car a month, and at the end of July last year, I had a new car in about a month and a half.
Bro,
No
I
car
feel like
note.
it wasn't even a month and a half.
It was a month and a half.
I feel like we blinked the Ivy was in a brand new car. Like, what is this? And I
I
didn't even
had
know, y'all. We had a photo shoot for one of our friends' birthdays, and she pulled up. I'm like, who car is this?
oh
Like, it's mine. I'm sorry, what?
but he's that person. He doesn't want to see me stranded or just like in need of anything. So he was like, "Forget it. We're gonna buy you a new car. I don't want you to have a car note right now. We're gonna just do it like that." So when it comes to like dating a guy, I don't expect you to be financially there because you're not gonna meet him nowhere near. Sorry, but me able to depend on you and know that a dude has it and you got me. If I need you to have me, is what the standards are personally. But that's when it comes to dating. But I don't really like say I'm a daddy's girl like right in the beginning of like talking to you because that just has too much pressure. But I just need you to just be able to, okay, can I depend on you to handle these bills? Pretty much.
Right. When it's time, can you handle the bills?
That's all. Like, can I depend on you? Can I trust you? Can I just literally just chill when I come home and don't have to do
And
nothing
I
and
have to
not think
worry.
for like 5 minutes?
So I think for me, when it comes to my dating standards and expectations,
Mhm.
especially about my dad, um, I know a lot of guys are like, "Oh, you looking for a guy that's just like your dad," and I'm not. Like, I got a daddy already. I don't need you to be just like my daddy, and I ain't trying to be like I love my mom, but my daddy got a wife, so I'm looking for a guy who has similar standards
Right.
as my dad. You don't have to be identical to my dad, but do you understand your role? You know, if you plan to marry me as the head of the household, as the provider, as the protector, those are the types of things that I look for as it relates to um my dad. Like
Hmm.
when I think of a man and I look at the qualities that my dad has, those are the things I look for. And also things like, do you make me laugh? My dad is hilarious. I don't want to be with somebody that's boring. I like to laugh. That's the household and the environment I was raised in.
Hmm.
Again, you don't have to be my dad. You don't have to do those corny dad jokes that he's
You don't.
for. But do you have a sense of humor? Do you understand work ethic? Things like that. Those are the types of things that I
And
look for.
that's lucky another point. Like, also, I will say, like, able to have a conversation and be a conversationalist, because that's how me and my dad, we talk about everything,
Yeah,
from stupid stuff to serious things and everything in between. We can just talk all day. Me and him, I sit and talk and watch the movie for 5 6 hours.
big
But
fact.
and that's for me. Like, can you have a conversation with me and it not drift off to y'all know,
Right.
ladies, y'all
Exactly.
know.
And you have a real conversation with
Conversation
this
with me.
person.
Like, can we just have clean fun? Like, can we just go take a drive somewhere and kiki and ha and go stop and have, I don't know, ice cream, a hot dog, or something?
That's right. Something simple because it don't have to be anything complicated.
It
Um,
don't.
Work ethic is another big thing for me because
Yep.
when I was younger, my dad worked a very good job. Like his salary alone could have sustained our household. My mom worked at that point because she wanted to work. Um,
Hmm.
Now, of course, things changed around, I think I was maybe 12 or 13. His job shut down, and I watched that transition happen. Um, but when I say that man had like 3 jobs at a time, I'm like, dude, sit down. But I understand, you know, at the
Right.
end of the day, I have to make ends meet for my family. By then, I was the only one in the house because my brothers are older than I am. So they were married and off doing their own
Hmm.
things. But me and my mom were still at home, and he made sure that we never went without. Now, did we have to adjust some things? Absolutely. But we never went without. At least not to my knowledge. If we did go without, he covered it up well. Um,
For real. Like, my dad has had the same job since I was born. I've never seen him not work at the off street club a day in my life. So he went from being just a regular manager, vice president, plus he works as not he's a nonprofit social worker area. But now my dad is a CEO.
period. And that's what I'm saying. You
So
climb the ladder, but
I've
you
like
make
I've
sure
seen
you
him,
employed.
go from working, making enough to sustain. But my mama still worked. But when he got to a certain point, he told her to just stay at home.
To
Make
stay
sure
home.
I went to basketball and volleyball practice.
Exactly. And that's the type of thing. That's what I mean by work ethic because I work, I take care of myself. And I think that's, well, we'll get into that question in a minute. But before we hop into the stigmas, because I keep jumping there, but I'm going to stay where I'm
We
supposed
go,
to.
you gonna reel it back in a little bit? Gonna
Girl,
reel it
I'm going to
back.
try. I'm going to try to pull it back. Okay. So the next question. How and when do you let a man know that you're a daddy's girl? I know that you said that you don't try to tell them up front that you're a daddy's girl, and I totally get that. But like, how and when? And do you want to explain why you do that? Because I think some people don't understand.
I mean, first of all, I haven't gotten that far in a lot of these situationships to even get
Girl,
to say that first. But in the ones I have, I get I tell them and they be like, "What you mean? Like, are you like so you spoil me?" No, um, I just like my daddy. We just cool.
we get along.
That's all. We ain't got no bad blood or nothing. We tight. Um, but it's like I try to, let's say, like a month or so in, a month or so, because I feel like that's something that needs to be. That needs to be like, hey, I like, hey, me and my dad were cool, we're tight, you know, we had this relationship, and of course, I feel like you talk about your family dynamic even when you get to know somebody, and of course, that's going to come up at some point in time in the conversation. If
Yeah.
I feel like if we're talking and I've never hear you say nothing good about neither one of their parents, I have questions.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I think for me, I can't even say a month in. I also have not made it that far with a lot of people, but I can't say I give a month in. I think that when I am dating somebody or potentially dating somebody, I kind of let that conversation happen organically, because
Yeah,
if you are around me, and Ivy, you are privy to this. If you're around me at 9 o'clock p.m., oh, my
for
phone
sure,
gonna ring, and it's gonna be my daddy.
for sure.
And so if you're around me enough, you just kind of gonna catch on to that. And then I feel like that's where the conversation will start to develop around. Oh, so you talk to your dad every single day? Yes. So you talk to your dad more than once a day? Yes. Like, I think that guys get intimidated by that. And so I just try not to even go that route right away. We just kind of discussed it as it
And I
happened.
don't even know why you get intimidated. I don't know what the intimidation is.
That was literally my next question.
Don't know what the
Why?
intimidation is.
What are you
Like, why are you
intimidated by?
intimidated?
That's my whole daddy. Like, what do you, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. That was literally my next question of why do you think guys are intimidated? But I don't
I
know
just asked
either.
the guy that though. I was like, I was like, he was like, man, that man like you got them standards. I'm like, what you mean them standards? What is that?
How dare I have standards?
I'm
Like,
sorry.
what's wrong with that? And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not a bad thing. We supposed to
He
have.
was and he went on to say he was like, well, I feel like I gotta like, pretty much bring a triple plus A game because most I mean if you was that if you are a daddy's girl, they feel like you don't accept, just basic stuff. And I feel like that's all women. That's not as a person who's got a relationship with their dad,
Yeah.
honestly.
Whether or not I have a dad, I have standards and I have expectations.
Hmm.
And you shouldn't be intimidated by that, because you should also have standards and expectations. Uh,
Exactly.
so maybe I'm tripping, but I don't get it. I definitely have witnessed that though, guys. Like, oh, you talk to your dad all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down here and he up in Chicago. He wants to make sure I'm okay. And guys are like legit, like put off by that. And I think it's weird.
And then this might be a bit rude, but they I feel like when you say that they can't be Captain Come Save a Hoe.
And that, you know what? Maybe that's it, Ivy.
I
That,
feel like they
you
can't
know,
become Captain Come Save a Hoe. You can't just come and say, oh, I'm gonna throw her $40, get her nails and get her hair done and everything is too. No, you can't do that.
you're
I do
right.
that for myself. Or
So
that's
maybe
or
that's what it
ask
is.
my dad, but you can't just do that.
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's what it is. Guys, y'all have to hop on Facebook in the comments and let me know. Is it that you're intimidated by a woman who is a daddy's girl because you feel like you can't do the bare minimum? Because if so, I'm sorry to say, but that's a trash mentality. You shouldn't want to do the bare minimum for somebody that you're interested in romantically. If you want to do the bare minimum, you're not really interested.
You're not for
So
real.
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess for me, it's even more complicated because in addition to me being a daddy's girl, I have two older brothers. So my dad, and I mean older, like they were 12 and 14 when I was born. So um, in addition to me being a daddy's girl, my dad raised them to, you know, I am your sister's covering. That's his favorite line. I'm your covering, blah, blah, blah. And so
Right.
he always says that, but he always tells my brothers, like, if I die before Joy gets married, y'all are her covering. Y'all pick up the slack where I left off. So in addition to my daddy always calling to check on me every single day, I have my brothers who are also at least once a week. Hey, just want to check on you. Are you good? Blah, blah. The other day, my brother randomly texted me like, what's your address? And I'm like, are you gonna drive down here? What is happening? I think he was trying to mail
He
me
was going to see
something.
what you about to do. He was going to do
What are we doing here?
What you doing?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's extra layers to
You was
that.
finna get knock on your door.
I literally was about to get a knock on the door. And then to add even another layer, and Avi, you can attest to this too. Our pastor is very much the same way.
Right.
And I'm gonna use this example because it literally happened yesterday. Yesterday, I was on my way to church and my tire popped. Like, it never went flat, but it popped, weird stuff. But anyway, I put a little status on Facebook. I was frustrated, but trying to like laugh it off. And within 5 minutes, my pastor was like, where are you? Call me now. And I was like, okay. So I called him. He was like, do you need me to come? And I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm in a safe, well-lit place. You come when you get to the tire shop. And it, like, he is just as much protective of me as my dad is, which I know my dad appreciates that because he feels like, you know, you're not down there completely alone. But also, you just another one on the list. I gotta check in with all of y'all. I be tired, okay? I'm gonna send everybody a group text. I am
Her relationship with our pastor is deep. Mine is a little bit shallow. Like I can at least call him, you know, with simple stuff. But but he's not gonna call me though. He might text me, but he's not gonna call me though.
He calls me out the blue, and I be looking at the phone like, am I in trouble? Did I do something? I be trying to rack my brain like, did I do something this week? Because why is he calling me?
But the crazy thing is, out of all of the single chicks that's in the church, we probably the only two that he like have conversation with.
Yeah, and I do think that it's related to the daddy's girl thing because, you know, he has a daughter that's our age. He doesn't go to our church, but he definitely has a daughter that's literally my age, 32. And so I think when he looks at us, he thinks about his own daughter and how, you know, how he would want somebody to look out for her if they were in the shoes that we're in. So I totally appreciate it. If you listening, Pastor, you know I love you.
We love you. We appreciate it so much.
But when I tell y'all he just like my daddy, and I be like, Lord, I am fine. So yeah. Right. I'd be like, I'm okay, thanks.
Really?
So you answered my question about being intimidated. So finally, we're gonna ask, what are some stigmas or stereotypes about daddy's girl that you hate? Go ahead, start your list. I'm right here with
First, we're gonna start with brat, which is not true. We are not brats. Not granted, there are some spoiled daddy's girls that are brats out here, but that's not all of us. All of us, we don't, you know, embody that.
And some people are brats without being daddy's girl. They just
exactly
a brat.
I feel, and then two, spoiled. Now, granted, my dad spoils me, but I'm not spoiled. It's a difference.
I wanna hop in on that before you go too far on your list, because I think those two are intertwined. I definitely agree with the fact that I am not a brat. My dad has always spoiled me, so I will not even lie about that. But my dad has also never allowed me to be a brat, and I will use this example forever. There was one time I was grown. Well, I was in college. I was a young adult. I was maybe 20, and something had happened. It was some type of misunderstanding, and the cable was off for like one day. Like they had paid, they forgot to pay it or something. And I was frustrated because it was some show I wanted to watch. And I think I said something smart, and boy, my daddy, when I say he went off on me so bad, I was just standing there like, I'm sorry. Like I was just frustrated.
You know what to
Chill, chill, big
do. For
dog.
real.
He has always spoiled me, but he does not allow me to be a brat. He definitely
Same.
ensures that I understand that it is a privilege to be treated the way that I'm treated. And he don't do everything for me. I pay my own bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I need help, I know that if I really don't have it, I can call my dad. But I ain't no brat, and I prefer to pay for my own stuff. I don't like taking money from my parents because they adults, they got their own stuff.
My dad is like the last resort if I need something.
The
Let's
last
make that exactly clear. Like I try my hardest not to call my daddy. I will scrounge up all the money I could possibly find.
If I call my dad, I literally have exhausted every other resource that I have.
I'm looking at every account
Right.
that I got.
Right.
Now, I will say when it comes to my car, that's the first call I'm making. Unfortunately.
Because I don't know. Listen, yesterday that tire popped. I called him like, Dad, my car making a noise. I'm finna drive so you can hear it because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. And then he made me FaceTime him. He wanted me to get down up under the car. I'm like, Dad, I got on the dress. I can't get down up under this car and show you. But I don't know. And then even when I got to the tire shop, the guy was like, you got this option, and this option. I was like, hold on, let me call my daddy. Because
it's literally the conversations. Like, and the thing about it, on Friday, this past Friday, my car, I was going to St. Louis, got on 55, didn't even get that far on 55 from my house. Car said overheat. I said, wait a minute, Jesus, wait, hold up.
What are we doing?
I put on the side of the road, call my daddy instantly. I didn't call the insurance. I called my dad. I'm like, hey, car overheat. He was like, you know what? Don't even drive it. Call a tow truck. Take it to the shop on Tuesday.
Okay.
I said, that's okay. If you're paying for the tow truck, first off, because we're a little bit tight over here. We just pay rent, but
I had to get towed too, but it was included in my insurance. Thank God. But I
call him for everything. Like the car, that's the first person I call about that because I don't know. And plus, you know, plus, honestly, when you're a lady with a car, that they try to swindle you and try to up the price, and I ain't got time for that. I really don't. And that's another thing. People don't think daddy's girls, let's just say, are, how can I put it, savvy when it comes to like labor intense things. I am the total opposite of Joy.
Now I know how to do some stuff. I know how. My first 2 cars was janky, so I know how to check oil, and I just don't.
Yeah, but like when it comes to like putting on a tire and being real handy for something, my dad can taught me all that stuff.
I know how to do it in theory. I can talk you through it. I ain't got nothing else for you.
Yeah, I can like change the tire. I can fix stuff around the crib, but that's the time that me and my dad spent together. Like him fixing stuff was our quality time.
Yeah, and I will say too, even though I'm definitely not a cars person. Like I'd be like, Dad, I don't know what to do, but I do know how to do a lot of stuff because of my dad. My dad has always been the type to, if I'm not here, I need you to be able to survive. So he has taught me a lot, even about cars. And I just be like, Dad, I'm not going to do that, but okay. But he has taught me a lot because, and especially with me living 4 hours away and him being older, he can't do everything. So, I don't like the stigma that daddy's girls don't know how to do anything because it's the opposite. I feel like, I was telling you this earlier, I feel like with us being daddy's girls, people think that we can do whatever and, you know, and get away with it. And I think it's the opposite. I feel like my dad has higher expectations of me than my brothers, and given you don't have siblings, but I know you understand high expectations.
And they even higher because I don't have nobody to look up to.
You don't have anybody else. It's just
I am the standard.
Period.
I am the standard. Like,
Exactly.
and I'll piggyback what off you just said. Like, so when it came to like me going to school and me having a job, my dad like he accept nothing the less. Like he told me like what was this last Christmas? No, 2020, Christmas of 2019. He was like, "Hey, you need to find you a job. They put like 20 something an hour because whatever what you're doing now, it's not cutting it." I said,
Yeah.
"Okay, sure, we're gonna go find one."
Actual move.
Actual
Uh,
move.
yeah.
So I took that literally because I knew he was serious. And maybe like in September, I found the job working in investments where I was making 20 something more plus dollars an hour on top of having my other job.
Because that's the expectation. The expectation is you need to have a good cushion in your savings at all times. You need to have all your bills paid up to date at all times. Like I feel like the expectations are high, and I'm not saying that my brothers don't have expectations for them as well, but it's different for us. They expect so
Right.
much of us, and they want us to follow their pattern, their timeline. Their, you know what I'm saying?
That
I be like,
timeline. I
listen.
think I messed up. I think I just convoluted that whole timeline that he had though. Because by now I'm supposed to be married with kids. Nope.
Yeah, that's his forever. You know
Not
what?
at
My
all.
dad used to be big on finding a husband with kids, and there was even one ex that he was so convinced that I was gonna marry this man, and I'm just like, but I'm not. He trash, and you shouldn't want me to be with him because he treated me like trash. Like I was mad, but he was so convinced. Like, no, he gonna get himself together. He gonna
He
come back
was just be
to
with that man. He saw the future.
me. No, he was like, he gonna get himself together. He gonna come back because he really do love you. I'm like, bye. If he loved me, he wouldn't have treated me like crap. Um, but here now in 2021, I find my dad saying things like, I'd rather you take your time and find somebody that's gonna treat you right than to be with a fool, basically.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Like
I
the
can
recent
appreciate that.
conversation we had when it was, he was like, cause talking about kids and stuff, and if we wanted grandkids, how would that look in the future? And so my dad's advice for me dating was keep your freedom for as long as you can, because once you get kids, you can't go nowhere. I said,
Listen,
okay.
we need to
Um,
call your daddy and have him call my daddy because my daddy told me to adopt a kid a month ago. And I was like,
he
what?
said he literally said have your freedom for as long as you can. I was like,
Okay,
okay,
thanks.
all right, that's
Right.
fine.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
I'm not gonna argue with you because when he retires, he's moving out of the country. So he was like, if you have a grandkid, just know if you want me to see him, I have to come over
You have to come over
overseas
there.
for like a summer. I said, okay,
Oh,
that's normal. This is normal conversation you got between me and Arnett Morris, unfortunately.
that's a real thing though. All
Real
truth,
thing.
no lie. Yeah, my daddy told me to adopt a baby, so obviously
So that's Melissa, my mother. On top of, I'm also a mama's girl. On top of this,
yeah, yeah. You got the best of both worlds, honey.
I am a mama's
That's
girl.
what
I just talked to her like maybe an hour ago.
listen, both of your parents loved them some IVS, okay? And I'm here for it.
Childhood. Honestly, that's probably like being the only kid. You both. You're not a mom. You're not a daddy's girl. It's not, and you're you both of them. My mom, I talk to her every single day. Almost. If I don't call her, if she called me, she mad because I ain't called her.
You didn't call her.
What you been
Exactly.
doing? I've been working and sleeping.
Exactly.
Mm.
That is hilarious. So another stigma, and I was reading this article early and I was kind of taking notes. So another stigma of mine is that I don't like is that guys think when they date a daddy's girl that every time they have an argument with their girlfriend, she gonna run and tell her daddy. Now I can't speak for other daddy's girls.
That's the total
But
opposite.
it is the exact opposite. I'm not gonna tell that man to your head.
Y'all got more. First of all, you got more of me telling her than me telling my daddy.
Definitely.
Most likely, if something happens, I tell Joy. So I got out there.
And that's what I'm saying.
Joy probably knows what happens already.
That's what I'm saying. We'll call each other and vent to each other. I'm not calling my dad. For one, I don't want to taint my dad's image of you.
Exactly.
So 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna tell him because then he's gonna be looking at you crazy. And y'all know my daddy is a pistol toting fool. He will shoot somebody over his daughter without any apology. So no, I'm not gonna tell my dad everything, but also I am an adult. I don't have to tell my daddy everything in my relationships. I'm 32 years old.
I don't even know at this point what time to introduce you to my daddy at this point. Cause I feel like if you're not dang there talking about we finna be married in 2 months, I don't even know if it's worth it.
So of course it's been a while since a guy has made it to the point where he would meet my dad. But for me, I feel like for me it's typically been about 6 months in. About 6 months in, I know that we are for real dating. You're gonna be around a while. I feel comfortable enough with you to meet my friends and my parents. They kind of go hand in hand. Y'all know I don't really bring nobody around unless it's for real. If we just talking, y'all, he is a ghost in the shadows and he ain't got no name. So, and that's it. And now to have to add that layer of my pastor, I have never introduced a guy to my pastor. I don't even know how he would act.
He want to bring him up to church. Like, it's
nah. Not the last guy that I seriously dated, he came to my church and he sat on the other side of the building. Like, Ivy, you know where I used to sit. And he sat in the overflow in the back row. You're gonna sit over there and I'm gonna sit over here. And that's how we're gonna do this thing.
I ain't even got that far.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would not run to my dad. I don't want to tell him everything. That's not his business. And I try not to tell my brothers either because my brothers don't act right either. So they know more.
It's too much. Like, for me, it's like a lot of pressure. Like, first of all, we already have to drive 4 hours for you to go meet this man.
Step 1, we got to make this a whole trip. This ain't no,
Two, we make a whole trip to Chicago. Where y'all staying at? Where he staying at?
Say that again. The last guy that
staying at, because I ain't here, and you're not staying with him.
The last guy that I took home, bless his heart, I had made all these. I had been telling my family about him. I'm like, he a good dude. He this, he that. They're like, oh yeah, we can't wait to meet him. So we set a date. I'm gonna break him up this date, and we gonna spend the weekend. So we all in a group chat, happy. My daddy calls me. So you need me to send some hotel rooms? You need me to send you some hotels near the house? I said,
what?
Oh, it's a pull-out couch in the front, and I'm gonna sleep in my room in the back. And he was like, nah, he's not sleeping in this house. And I was like, but it's a pull-out couch in the front, and my room is in the back. Like, it's not like I'm trying to lay in the bed with him. And he was like, no,
too close for comfort.
He can get a hotel and you can drop him off there, or you can stay at the hotel and he can sleep here. I was like, are you serious?
Y'all separate? Y'all can sleep in the same building.
In the same building? First of all, Dad, and I'm 32 now, so I got big gusto.
The whole thing. Y'all can sleep in the same building.
Avi, we were sleeping in the same bed before we went to Chicago. Okay? Let me just go and be honest about that thing. We was definitely sleeping in the same bed on several occasions, and not even that something sexual was happening. But did we sleep in the same bed? Absolutely.
And you want to know? Y'all want to know a fun fact? I've never, ever shared a bed with a dude on like a consistent basis in my whole life. The dude I dated for 5-6 years, never. He came over, we visited.
I did.
I did. He needed
Oh,
my
that's hilarious.
realize I'm a little bit of like a nigga, just a little bit. I'd be
It's
like, nah,
sad. That's a
you gotta
drive.
go home. You gotta go home. You can't
That's
stay
hilarious.
here. I be needing me space.
Yeah, no, I was like, yeah, man, you tripping. I'm gonna respect your house, but also you doing a lot. So
No, and plus my dad nosy. Like when I say y'all, he nosy. He nosy. What you doing? Why you getting up so late? Well, what we doing today? I'm like,
yeah,
oh.
it makes me stuff like that makes me nervous. I remember one time I was a freshman in college, and I was out kicking it with my friends. Now, at that time, I really did not. I wasn't talking to nobody. I wasn't dating nobody. I wasn't smashing nobody. I was just out. I'm a freshman. It's my first time away from home. I'm kicking it with my friends. My daddy texted me at 7 a.m. and said, "You didn't do what I asked you to do." I said, "Excuse me?" He was like, I told you to call me when you got back to your room. And he called me and he's like, "I told you to call me when you got back to your room and you didn't call me." Well, when I say the longest awkward pause on the phone, I'm not back at my room yet. So I did do what you asked me to do. I didn't call you yet because I'm not back there yet. And I ain't even laid up with no dude. It's just the point of I'm an adult. I'm at my friend room. Leave me alone. So yeah, that's that. Being a daddy's girl is interesting. So here's my last question, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So being a daddy's girl, knowing the stigmas about daddy's girl, and knowing what a daddy's girl really is, would you date your counterpart? Would you date a mama's boy?
It depends on the magnitude of the level of a mama's boy that he is.
Explain.
Like, if we're at the same level, like the level of me being a dating girl, he the same way as like with his mama, okay. But I have no problem. If you love your mother, hey, I can't fault you for that. At least I know you have a relationship with her that you treat if you treat her well, first off. If you treat her well and you treat her with respect, I know you're gonna treat me. And if we have a family, you're gonna treat my kids and our kids with respect too. And my mother. But it's the other opposite, it's the other spectrum of a mama's boy to where they're pretty much I've seen this lately like have an emotional relationship with their mother.
Yeah.
And if I see that early, it's gonna be a no for me. If I see you put her before you put everything else, including me, and if we have kids, including your kids, it's gonna be a no. So now,
I can understand that. So again, the last guy that I seriously dated was 1000% a mama's boy. Now he lived with his dad. Him and his dad were like roommates, and it really was like a roommate relationship type of thing. Because I was over there all the time. He ain't bother him, we ain't bother him, whatever. So, his mom was super rude to me, and I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work because you a mama's boy and she clearly don't like me.
Right.
So we not gonna last long. And he was like, "No, it's not that she don't like you. She got a tough exterior, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah, no, it's not gonna." And we ended up breaking up, and he moved on. He married somebody else. God bless them. But I feel like for me, if you a mama's boy and you cannot I don't want to say put your mom in her place because that makes it sound really bad. But if you cannot establish and maintain boundaries as
Yep.
it relates to your mom and me, we're not gonna get real far. Cause
And
I
that's
don't
most, yeah, and that's
do
pretty much like what it is. Like if I can't, if we just go out to dinner and it's me, your mom, we just having, I'm meeting her for the first time, and she get in the first encounter is just look, the little old little mama's little side eye, like, okay, who's this? If that's our first encounter,
just don't be rude.
uh-uh.
And that's my whole I guess
And
my
that's
whole
not,
thing.
and that's like I know because I know my mom. My mama, you gotta get to know her first. But like off of first, encounter, she's nice to most people.
Yeah,
She gonna try to get to know you first before she just
before she
say,
has
hey, I
yeah,
don't think this is the right person for you. But she gonna first try to give you a chance before that.
exactly.
If I see I'm not even getting a 1% chance, then why are we here?
Exactly. And so I guess for me, I wouldn't say I won't date a mama's boy, but like I said, if you cannot establish boundaries and
Yep.
maintain those boundaries, just as I plan to establish and maintain
Mm-hmm.
boundaries with my dad, um, then it's not gonna work for me. Because one thing that I don't tolerate from anybody is disrespect. And some mamas, and I'm gonna give it to some daddies too, but some parents be super disrespectful to their kid's partner. And if you can't respect that, you can go on and go now.
And that's and I'm like, excuse me. Whew.
That's
Ooh, Jesus. But I feel like they do that in like the knowing, oh, you're not gonna disrespect because you like my son or you like my daughter, and I'm the elder in the situation. No, I am an adult just like you, and I need respect just like you. That goes two ways.
exactly.
It got two ways with two lanes.
And that's way street. So all right, well, that's all I got. Ivy, I want to thank you again for having this daddy-daughter conversation. We definitely talked about it on the parking lot at church one day. And Ivy was like, this gonna be a podcast episode. And I was like, all right, now when I call you for real, you better answer. So thank you again.
No
For
problem.
those of you that are listening, tune in 2 weeks where we will discuss the mama's boys and we will ask them how they feel about daddy's girls. So right, part 2 coming soon. In the meantime, y'all hop on Facebook, make sure you grab your tickets to the murder mystery dinner while there is time.
Go get him.
Go
Go
get
get
them
him. Go
ASAP.
get him. Go get
All
him.
right, y'all have a good day and let's exchange.